we've been out there watching these elections, running them down, scrutinizing them, observing every little bit of it. And when you're in that bubble, you're in that bubble. But now we step out and you come back to America, fam, and it's the same old poo-poo. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
What's going on with Twitter? Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, the Twitter stuff, I mean, it's just ridiculous right now, man. We're talking about, and I said it on Jason Burma's show, which you guys should check out. I was on his show earlier today. And then yesterday I was on Alex Rubinstein show with, what's her name? Mila. I was going to say it wrong. Mila. And they're really great. They're also on point. So you guys should check that one out. But
they're on Rokfin.
They're on Rokfin. And we were talking about, like the difference between the left in Latin America and the left here and the left, right? Like, so it's just kind of like, it's frustrating to come back and see that people are up to the same bullshit, discussing things like, the Build Back Better as if it's anything good. Like it's not. And here's Joe Biden again with the same crap, the same administration policies that Trump had, right? And so like all of this is coming back and it's just like obvious, like what's happening here. And it's just very frustrating to kind of, everything else seems so petty right now because we just got done watching countries fight against imperialism and succeed. And organize and do all these things. And then you come to America where the left is just like talking about bullshit, like high school bullshit between the squad and the Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Boebert, and the right does it too. They're part of this whole thing. And it's really just, we're so distracted.
Yeah. Today, I'm kind of glad because we get to go after later on in the show when it will be eventually Rokfin only. We'll get there as we talk about the boop boop and more other things. And there's a lot of Republicans that have to be called out today on today's
Absolutely.
show. For those people like the David Pacmans and the Emma Viglins and the Sam Cedars who goes, well, they don't go after Republicans. We're starting off the show telling you that today we'll be going after Republicans as well. But wait, fam. We have a full Democratic House over here. We have the top of the ticket in our boy Joe Biden, who says one thing, but then later on says another. The guy's been a world-class professional liar. He finished second place to Anthony Fauci, I think, in the lie-off competition. But here he is, fam, again, talking about Donald Trump's policy to remain in Mexico is dangerous, inhumane, and goes against everything we stand for as a nation of immigrants. My administration would get rid of it, man. And what's happening, fam? Your boy Peter Dow puts it up. Biden is implementing remain in Mexico. It's the same policy over and over again, fam. Your thoughts?
I mean, this is what we said would happen. And a lot of these people, denied it, saying that you were a white man, racist and privileged for not voting for Joe Biden. I mean, now they're influx facilities, and it's this topic just boils my blood more after going to Latin America and going to the countries that the Obama administration, with the Biden administration, is a continuation of, because we know Biden is in charge. We know the national security state apparatus is in charge. Clearly, it's very, very obvious. Joe Biden cannot talk his way out of a paper bag. Like he is, and so what's happening now is just a continuation. It's a status quo. As we said, every single policy that Joe Biden ran on that duped these progressives, he has gone back on. Every single one of them. He is continuing basically the Trump era policy because we don't have real presidents here. Like the United States is government, the Pentagon, and the agencies are in charge. And it's never been more clear than it is now. And just going into Latin America and seeing the damage we did and how these people are fighting against that, and in spite of all the adversity, are succeeding. This is why it boils my blood, because that's what we did. That's what the United States government did. And, we have to give a lot of credit to these people for fighting against the empire, right? And having just so little to begin with, things that we take for granted. It's actually made me more, People think, oh, you're going to a Central American country, you're probably going to hate it. You're going to see why, it's so much better in America. It's the opposite has happened.
Me too.
Opposite has happened.
I got my Nicaraguan shirt on. I got my Cuban cigar. And, I got my Honduras breakfast I had this morning. I just loved our whole experience because you see people not take the little things in life for granted on top of everything. And they are fighting. They're fighting to get the boot of America's imperialism off their neck. And that's the thing that's just so like, it just boils my blood to see people still talking about what's going on the border rather than the fucking imperialism and the policies which lead for mass migration. And we saw it. We met people who said, yeah, our friends in 2017, they just took off with this government. They left. They went to America. They were so surprised that they stood behind the election results in 2017 of Juan Orlando Hernandez in Honduras. And that's why they migrate here. That's when the caravan started. Everything has come full circle, fam, to the time you went down to Tijuana to talk to these people. And the fact is that the left, and let's be honest, I wrote down in my notes over here, when we met a lot of these people in Nicaragua, when we met some people in Honduras, we're talking about the international observers, people that have lived in the States, they say there is no left in America. There is no left in America. They don't know what leftism is about. And for us to go able to see it with our very own eyes, to tell our audience, to tell the people out there, there is no left in America. It's confirmed. We don't have a left. We have a bourgeoisie synthetic left at best.
Based pasta.
Thank you. By the way, everybody on YouTube, share this right now because we've been getting censored. We've been getting shadowed banned. There's no other good show on right now. There's a lot of
stop.
On.
There is a show. There's a Misty show starts today.
Show. All right, but
that one.
I was going to rag on status quo, but I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't do that. But the people who actually get off their ass and go down to South and Central America are here right now to give you the scoop of what's going on. So yeah, let's do that. Let's get to the next part. Like, share. Thank you, Owen Rokfin. By the way, Trey Wright, first one in the Dore fam, saying hi.
Trey.
On the poll today, which was if you were stuck on an island, which member of the Convo Couch would you want with you? And Fee is obviously winning that poll. But Trey, you Benedict Arnold, he didn't vote for us. He voted for you, Fee. And he says, I love all of you, dank. It's lit, beautiful motherfuckers. And we love you too, Trey, right?
Love you, Trey.
So the second part, fam, of this is I wanted to point out some other moments of hypocrisy. I saw Nick and Compton J doing a little segment on this the other day, talking about there's so many things now that the Democrats are really just, they play team sports is what, Steve says. And, it's so obvious now because the same exact things that happened under Trump, they're just renamed and rephrased and repackaged with the Democrats. Remember, they were kids in cages when Donald Trump was the president, but now, fam, they became mass influx facilities.
Exactly. It's aesthetics. That's it. That's it. Like, I mean, that's it.
But it's the same.
They practice. Yeah, they practice the same exact policy and change the label. That's it. And like that's what we have in America is a faux left interested in aesthetics policy, like things that sound good, like make them feel good, but not tangible material conditions changing. And that is something that we have to move past.
What's the reason for that? Is it narcissism?
I think it's a lot of propaganda that people are buying. It's a lot of infiltration. The channels, the people. Somebody tweeted something out. Andrew Mandel, I think he tweeted something. The amount of money that a lot of these people, like Kyle Kulinski, Crystal Ball, how much money they're worth. Hassan Piker, and it just the loudest voices, the voices that are most amplified as progressives. Do they have their pulse on the working class? They don't, because they're not. And I'm not saying you can't have, you can't be a millionaire and not have empathy, because I've seen people who have money have empathy and have their pulse. But I am saying a lot of these progressive voices that are amplified as being, as being the ones to listen to when it comes to politics are not the ones that are actually on the ground reporting, challenging the system. And those are the things that are getting views. A lot of also the progressive and is interested in like debates and like, but you know, arguments. Those aren't debates, they're arguments. Real debates, like, you know, they're great. Like seeing different discussions, those things are great. But when it comes, there's a lot of ego in this whole, in the progressive world. And I mean, Steve has talked about it ad nauseum, right? So they do this whole, it's the same cycle. And it's more apparent to me now, even more apparent after going into Central America and seeing what they're doing, putting us to shame.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times too, as well, it's not how you get your money. I mean, it is how you get your money. It's also where you get your money from, right? You know, like we understand where Sam Cedar and Emma get a lot of their money from. You know, they're subdivisions of big networks, you know, TYT with the Katzenberger cash and stuff. So, you know, I'm not going to, you know, hold somebody, you know, look at somebody at the same light that goes and gets money directly from the people supporting them. That is a very important thing to kind of point out as well. And, you know, when it comes to it, fam, when we're talking about why the Democrats are this way, like the progressives that have become now the new Democrats, whatnot, I do think a lot of it is white savior complex, that they want to have the opportunity to be the savior, you know what I'm saying, of a situation and wag their fingers at people who think differently than them. You know, like they're the ones wearing the cloak of virtuosity. And that's the same. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's the same mentality that colonizers had. So in their attempt, because we have had our friends in Nicaragua complain about Americans doing that, right? And their attempt to wag their finger, oh, you're not talking about abortion rights or LGBTQ issues enough at another country to tell them how to run their country. Like that sense of white saviorism is still part of that mentality. Like they think they're being anti-racist, but in actuality, what they're doing is the same thing, just in a different way. Yep. Like it's yeah.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? That's something that we discovered too, as well as the Convo Couch, when, you know, you didn't see it. It was like this cryptic kind of racism of like, oh, how dare you have an opinion and step out of line, you woman of color. You should be with us. And it's like a white savior saying that shit. We also remember when everybody's telling you got to vote out Trump. The judges, fam. The judges, fam. You can't. The Supreme Court, the judges, fam. Well, the Democrats agreed to confirm 15 judges for Trump. There's Chuck the Schmuck. So they all confirmed him and they hightailed on vacation out of town, fam. What about the judges? Aren't the judges important?
That was the number one argument that people were using, I think, besides immigration and environment. It was that one. The judges forever. First of all, yeah, we should fix the fact that there's no term limits on judges, for one. And like the Trump judges, like they were like, but you have to think of Roe v. Wade, blah, blah, blah. If the Democrats gave a crap about Roe v. Wade, they would have cemented that a long time ago. This is just the thing they use to fearmonger people into voting for them, right? Because the Republicans do it too. This is a two-player, like a two, you know, this is duopoly, like the illusion of a duopoly, even because at this point it's not. We know it's an oligarchy, right? But this is what they do. They feed off each other. They fearmonger off of each other. The right calls Kamala Harris and Joe Biden communists, and the left, the liberals, call them the right-wingers Nazis. When we know that neither of those are true, but it's used to fearmonger people.
Yeah, and it's also meant to divide, and it does a good job. Talking about that sweet, soft imperialism, fam, with a nice little touch. Kamala Harris literally going and telling people from the global south not to come here, not taking any accountability. We'll stop with our imperialism. We'll close down our 78 bases in your hemisphere, and we'll let you people decide your own fate. No. Just don't come here. Deal with the American fucking puppets that are freaking fascist pigs that are, you know, go on murdering sprees, and are most of them working with the CIA that are drug traffickers. Don't worry about them, but don't come here.
Exactly. And you know, and I know you're going over everything.
About making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Pam, do not come.
I know. And I know you're going over everything they've done so far, but like the thing is, like, guys, when are you going to learn? No, they're not learning. That's the thing. They're already arguing as to who they're going to vote for.
Yeah.
Who's Pete Buttigieg or Kamala Harris? You don't have fair elections in this country. You do not have fair elections in this country. Okay.
I'd rather get smacked across the face with a large mackerel, right? Than vote for Pete Buttigieg or
A giant mackerel.
Giant mackerel. And vote Democrat for that more sensitive imperialism, fam. We caught this sticker out there, this bumper sticker out there. But this is what it's like. And it's really not even softer, the imperialism. Go ahead, Oz, you can show this one. It's not softer, the imperialism. The voice and the tone of what they're saying is more, sensitive. We can't get out of Afghanistan because we have to support women. We can't not jostle with Putin because he doesn't like gay people. Like these are reasons to go to war with people because of, the American culture battle has to be taken and spread all around the globe.
Yeah. No, there's going to be no uprising in America as long as what is considered left here continues doing that, continues just fixating on the culture war instead. And then, of course, when you point that out, you get called a, right winger, or you get called like, oh, you're shifting. No. We're just pointing out how ineffective you are, how ineffective our policies are. I'm obviously riled up today.
I know you are. Being an anti-imperialist and election integrity activist and person who wants to have freedom of speech and protection of our civil liberties now makes you a right winger in the United States. That's the crazy part. The progressives have lost the plot. But remember, you were saying that the judges in the Supreme Court, that was the number one issue. And that became one of the number one issues because at one point it was like, well, Bernie Sanders says that Donald Trump is a man who believes that global warming is a hoax invented by the Chinese. So some people were actually saying that, well, Biden is a little bit better on climate change. But fam, I have a little video for you here right now. Remember after the primaries, he did the bait and switch and went to, I'm not going to ban fracking, man. Come on. Here's the video. Check it out.
The executive order also directs the Secretary of the Interior to stop issuing new oil and gas leases on public lands and in offshore waters wherever possible. We're going to review and reset the oil and gas leasing program. Like the previous administration, we'll start to properly manage, unlike it, we're going to start to properly manage lands and waterways in ways that allow us to protect, preserve them, the full value that they provide for us for future generations. Let me be clear, and I know this always comes up, we're not going to ban fracking. We'll protect jobs and grow jobs, including through stronger standards like controls from methane leaks and union workers willing to install the changes. Unlike previous administrations, I don't think the federal government should give handouts to big oil to the tune of $40 billion in fossil fuel subsidies. And I'm going to be going to the Congress asking them to eliminate those subsidies. We're going to take money and invest it in clean energy jobs in America. Millions of jobs in wind, solar, and carbon capture. In fact, today's action is going to help us increase renewable energy production from offshore wind and meet our obligation to be good stewards of our public lands. It establishes
He's lying. He lied.
I can't.
He did none of those. None of those things.
Stop drilling on public lands and offshore where possible. What do you mean where possible? That's, you know what I'm saying? The code speaking, he had a hard time getting it out. And then the virtue signaling. I don't think we should be giving public subsidies. So I'm going to go into Congress and ask them to stop, knowing that they're not going to stop giving subsidies. They will always give them subsidies. And then the virtue signaling, we're going to invest in wind and solar. And then you say you're not going to ban fracking right after the primaries where you were all about, let's ban fracking. I mean,
yeah.
The hypocrite Joe.
I mean, but also, he did none of that. But again, the Build Back Better positions that are being amplified by many progressive voices. I mean, I'm extremely disappointed in the Bernie left for acting still like Build Back Better is a good thing. Like, it's not. It's trash. It is absolute disaster. And it's not just trash. It's extremely dangerous. Build Back Better is the Great Reset. It's the fourth industrial revolution. And the policies in it, let alone the taxing monitoring of the IRS, the driving tax bullshit. Like, and then of course the gigantic handouts to the 1%, like all of that alone should tell you that. But yet I still see progressives, oh, please include a few of these good things that you are no longer including, in this thing. It's a good thing. It's not a good thing. Why do these people, like, you have to be like, start paying attention. Like, start paying attention. That's like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, stop pushing faux progressive bullshit. That's not progressive. It's not helping. There is nothing in that Build Back Better that is going to help the working class materially. It's not going to do anything. It is an insult to the working class. Why are you fighting about it when Republicans are saying no to it? Just because you have to oppose Republicans? Just because you don't like Tulsi Gabbard? I don't give a shit if you don't like her. Like, I'm just so, and it's important voices. Like, you shouldn't be backing this disastrous bill.
It's 2,400 pages or 2,900 pages. I don't know what's going on. The one Democrat who voted against it, Jared Golden from Maine, I have pointed out before, was one of the only people on the floor of the Congress when it came to the CARE Acts to say these bills are so long, they don't give us time to read it, and there are parts written in it that look like it was written by a lobbyist that you can drive a truck so through.
Because it was.
So many holes. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, and yet people throw this shit out here without even knowing what's in these bills. I think Misty the other day had a disagreement with somebody on Twitter, we'll call it that, and the person pretty much agreed that they didn't read the bill as well. You know what I'm saying? But yet it's so confident for it and wants to push it. And we talk about the infrastructure bills. How many presidents have had infrastructure bills going back? They all have infrastructure bills. Nothing ever gets done. You know, we've had projects that have come out of money in Congress, go to third parties, like no bid contracts, and the work never gets done, and they pocket the money, the third party contractors. This is a common practice here. If they really cared about building back better, they would have small individual bills in each section, have robust debate on the floor about what's going on, but they don't. The Congress is bought off. We have no friends in Washington, and this is what they're pushing forward. And some of you on the left are taking these cliches, these bumper stickers, and going out and selling it as if it's something positive or something good. You're virtue signaling, and it's enough is enough. You're not helping anymore. You're hurting. You're hurting. Okay, you're actually proving that you're more dangerous than the Republicans, because at least they're admitting who they are. You're trying to act like you're something special out there for the people, and you're allowing these criminals in Congress to go ahead and elevate them for their bullshit, for them doing nothing. Tweeting is not legislating. Get your head together and let's go already.
Yeah, tweeting Medicare for all. Let's have Medicare for all every day.
The reason
I'm
why
not in Congress, so I can tweet. I'm not in Congress. If I were in Congress, hello, come on, Jesus Christ.
The reason
I know
why
people would say that
all the time.